So here's the Flywoo Firefly. This is the 1S Nano. This is exactly how she comes. So let's get her unboxed and see what we get. Nice little case that she comes in there. Open her up and straight away, nice little handy hints, which is quite a nice thing for Flywoo to do. And just some props there. So there's your propellers. Looks like you get 2 sets. There is a adapter. This is the battery adapter because this one in here actually comes with the new connector. This is the E2 or ET 2.0, I believe it is actually. And this is the same one that they use on the US Pro that I reviewed. So it is the old GNB27 they used to call it. So ET 2.0. So it's got the adapter though. You can plug that into the quad and you can use your old PH2 batteries as well if you've got loads of them. So that's a really nice thing to have actually. Spare battery strap, spare nuts and bolts, camera cover even, little Flywoo sticker, always nice to have a sticker, thanks Flywoo. And there she is, nothing else in there, that's just foam. And there is the little quad herself. And she is absolutely tiny, really, really small. Vacuum packed, sealed. So we're going to crack her open. Now there is in the bottom actually a nice little screwdriver. Very nice to have. So let's get her cracked open. So there she is. She is really small. Looks really cool though, to be honest with you. Real nice little thing. See if you can see her in there. So let's just run over some quick specs and then we'll get her hooked up to Betaflight and we'll see if we can go out and do some flights. So let's quickly go over some specs. Like I mentioned, there's the new battery connection that they're using. So this is the ET 2.0 and they've got the adapter if you've got loads of those PH batteries, so that's really nice of them. There's the battery strap holder on the bottom, spare one of those you've got in the bag. Motors on here, these are the Robo 0802.4s and they're on a 16500 kV. You've got an all-in-one board here. This is a all-in-one, this is a 5-in-1 board actually, because it's got the built-in VTX as well, F4, and they call it a GOKU, G-O-K-U. Hope that's the correct way of pronouncing it. 250 milliwatts of VTX in there, and I'm sure you realise by now, there on the bottom is my crossfire, because this actually comes with crossfire. And I do love crossfire, so that's what I've got in there. We'll weigh her in a bit and get her completely weigh up, but she's supposed to be around 20 grams. 1S camera, that's exactly what they call it. They have no particular name for it. It's a Nano 1S Nano camera. That's exactly what they do call it. But yeah, it's got about a 2 mil, oh, it looks like about a 1 or 1.5, 1 mil carbon on there. Quite small, really light. But I think she's going to be great fun. So let's give her a quick weigh. There she is, no battery, 22 grams, slightly heavier than advertised, and I think that's purely because of the crossfire receiver in there, with a battery that I'm going to be flying her on. And this is the old PH connection, so that's a 520 battery, 36 grams. I'm going to have to be using the actual adapter as well. And the adapter doesn't change the scale weight, so 36 grams, all in, I'll be flying her on. Light as anything really, shouldn't be a problem at all. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to connect her up to Betaflight. We're going to bind it up with the crossfire receiver, make sure switches are all in the correct place, and then we're going to go out and do some flights. So first things we're going to do just before we actually connect it to Betaflight, we're obviously going to bind the receiver so we can make sure all our switches and our receivers all working correctly how it should. What you can do is you can power the actual crossfire receiver off the USB power rather than sticking a battery in it. So that's what we're going to do now. Sticking the power from the USB will power it up. So plug it in there. And you can see that the actual crossfire receiver is flashing green, ready to be bound. I've got my controller hooked up or connected on here. We're going to select the menu. We're going to select crossfire. And then we're going to select Tango 2. And then we're going to press bind. That's flashing there. The red lights started flashing on here. That tells me it's binding. It says it's binding on the controller as well. So that should do its thing. Any updates required or anything like that, Crossfire system will just do its own thing and update it all, and everything will be good and ready to go. So I'm going to leave it there, let it all bind, let it update, and we'll be back and we're connected to Betaflight. So there we go. As you can see, that is actually just bound. So that's updated the receiver in there. It's bound to the controller. We've got a green light on here, green light on the Crossfire in there as well. If my camera focuses, I'm having problems with this at the moment. Green lights all around, so we are good to go. So everything's bound up. What we're going to do now, we're just going to have a quick look into Betaflight. We're just going to show up the settings. I'm not going to adjust any settings in Betaflight. It's going to fly exactly how it comes. Obviously, we're going to have to make sure that our switches are in the correct place. Everything's working how it should be before we can actually go out and fly. So let's do that right now. So I've got it connected up to Betaflight already. And we're going to hit connect. And we're just going to go through these settings. Receiver is the main one that you want to go into. While the controller is actually connected, you can check how your sticks are working. And I've got my throttle in the correct place, as you can see by the colour bars. Roll, yaw, pitch, everything is working absolutely fine. If you have a problem with that, then this is what you need to change. And I've got another video about that, which I'll link up in one of these corners. Do check that out if you're having issues. Modes tab, this is another one. This is where you set up your switches. I've done a full video about the actual Tango 2 and Crossfire and setting up switches. Do check that one out as well, it is there. That will show you exactly what you need to do and actually get your arm. If you don't have these set up, then you won't be able to actually fly your quad. So make sure these are all okay. I'll tell you now, I have actually set these up how I like them already. Sorry about that, magic of TV or YouTube or whatever you like. So I fly arm, beeper and flip over after crash. That's all I use. And they are there ready to go. PIDs and tuning, this is exactly how it comes. I have not changed one little thing at all. Rates are the same. Filter settings exactly the same. We're going to fly a complete stock. And that is about it. You can change your OSD if you like, if you don't want too much on the actual display. That is how I like to have it. I have all my warnings up. Voltage, this is my RSI reading, and this is the time that you've been flying. And that is it. That is exactly how I fly my quad, or how I'm going to fly this one anyway. So there's all the settings. So let's go out and do some flights, and I'll tell you exactly what I think about this. See you in a minute. Hope you enjoyed those flights, guys. So what do I think about the Firefly Nano? I think she's pretty good. She's okay, guys. Like all these little 1S flyers, they do have their limitations. So obviously flying on a 1S pack, she struggles with power. Out of dives, flips and rolls and stuff like that, you need a lot of throttle to actually keep her in the air, or you need to be high up before you actually do or attempt one of these maneuvers. But she flies very stable, rock solid. In fact, if you find that correct throttle position, you can sort of fly a very stable, really nice flyer. She flies like a freestyle quad, more than a little whoop if you like. So yeah, I love the way she looks as well. Looks absolutely cracking. Haven't seen many that are actually designed like that. Let me show you that again. Beautiful little thing. Really do like the way she looks. So yeah, I like her. 1S flyer has its limitations, but if like me you've got loads of these batteries kicking around, then to buy something like this is relatively cheap, to be honest with you. So yeah, not bad. She's pretty good. That's about it, guys. She's a nice little flyer, nice little garden flyer, nice little indoor flyer. So there you go. Maybe I'll give her away in a competition, as long as you stick around, hit that thumbs up, and smash that subscribe. See you on the next one, guys.